we invite our guests to please direct your attention to the screen.
Ntuye muri aka kagari niko navukiyemo ka Mabare, mvuka mu muryango w'abana 14, nza mu bana b'inyuma. Nize amashuri atandatu abanza, ibyankundira ko nkomeza amashuri bitewe nuko nari mbuza ababyeyi, mfata inzira rero yo kujya mu buhinzi nanjye.
Yangu ya ukulima ilikuwa na changamoto nyingi kwa sababu wakati wa kwanza tulikuwa tunalima tu, hatuna mbegu ya kupanda, tunachukua mbegu za kienyeji napanda kwenye mashamba bila kujua mpangilio.
Muri kwa kuzenguruka nshaka amafaranga nkayabura, nta washoboraga kuyama kubera ubuzima nari mbayemo nuko n'ubushobozi nari mfite, kuko bangaga kuyama kuko babonaga ntaho nzayakura. Nari umuntu uciriritse ugayitse kuri uyu musozi.
More than 50 million families in sub-Saharan Africa earn a living from small farms, which produce 80% of the continent's food. Yet harvests from these farms continue to lag behind the rest of the world.
Aho nahinze bisanzwe nyine kubera ko nta bushobozi, umusaruro ndawubura neza, umusaruro muke cyane.
Mani mahindi nimepata nyingi sana, ni kama gunia moja ama nusu. Na watoto nikawa sina namna ya kuwalisha, na nilikuwa watu wanaweza kuugua kwa shako.
Tuburije numvishije ingamba ifite ku muhinzi, mita njya muri Tubura. Maze kujya muri Tubura narahinze sezo ya mbere muri Tubura, nejeje toni 3 n'igice z'ibigori.
The jury selection of One Acre Fund to receive the 2023 Hilton Humanitarian Prize highlights the vital role that smallholder farmers have in addressing the massive humanitarian challenges such as hunger and climate change. One Acre Fund has a proven and scalable model that has supported millions of farmers to grow more food and earn more money, with the potential of increasing the livelihood and prosperity of many more.
One Acre Fund has always existed essentially just to make, smallholder farm families more prosperous. Initially, we really focused only on staple food production, and that remains a very big component of what we do. As our services have evolved, really quite a lot of that has been in response to climate change. So we really constantly seek to make our farm families more resilient. We're also increasingly looking at ways to help them intercrop and diversify their crops, plant at the right time and adjust to changing weather patterns, to adjust their seed varieties, to improve their soils. These are all newer aspects of the programming that really respond to the changing environment that we see today.
Through its full-service program, One Acre Fund directly provides smallholder farmers with the financing, tools, and climate-smart agricultural training they need to increase yields and profits, grow their way out of hunger, protect their environments, and create thriving economies.
One Acre Fund serves 4 million farm families. We see that as one family succeeding, 4 million times over. We really think of farmers as our customer, and as everyone knows, the customer is the king. We really try to serve that customer, and one of the core values that we have is local and proximate. This starts at really the field level, where the field officers that we hire, we're proud to have more than 5,000 field officers that are, for the most part, really just farmers from their communities that we kind of work together with and develop to become leaders in their communities. This is such a powerful moment for One Acre Fund to win the Hilton Prize. For the very first time, smallholder farm families, the world's most vulnerable people, are being included in the climate dialogue. And we'd love to say loudly to the world, that these smallholder farmers are not victims of climate change. They are agents of their own change. They can be powerfully adapted to kind of changing climate conditions, and they can become a frontline force in helping our worlds to deal with climate change.
The vision of the Conrad and Hilton Foundation is a world in which improving the human condition is a shared and sustainable goal. One Acre Fund manifests this vision at its core. So I would like to say to the entire One Acre Fund team, congratulations.
hiyo mahindi nimenitoa mbali, nilisomeshea watoto, sasa tuko sawa. Kwa hivyo ukulima ni kitu cha maana, ni kitu bora.
Hari n'igihe ikirere, imihindagurikire y'ikirere nayo idukoma mu nkoko, itubangamira mu buhinzi, ariko ntabwo ducika intege, gushaka niko gushobora. Umuntu umwe yatubwiye agatekerezo, atubwira ko umuntu atazamurwa umusozi n'imbaraga afite, ahubwo awuzamuzwa n'icyo gushaka hejuru. Ibyo rero bituma mu buhinzi bwacu tudacika intege, turakomeza kugeza tugeze ahari ibyo dushaka. Ibyo kandi no kuba tuba dufite imbaraga zituri inyuma, ziduha ubumenyi, zitwereka uko twabigenza, zidusubizamo intege umunsi.
So here we are at the heart of the event and the big moment of the day. What a wonderful glimpse into the work of One Acre Fund. I had the honor of visiting Bizimungu, Andrew, and others in Rwanda this summer. You heard from Bizimungu and Zaituni in Kenya how One Acre Fund's work changed their lives, their ability to provide for their families, their ability to become agents in a larger effort to fight hunger and address climate change. I am continually struck by how clear and how effective One Acre Fund's approach has been, and how systematic their growth from 40 families to 4 million, with a game plan for helping all 50 million families, smallholder families in Africa. We will dive deeper today into efforts to end global hunger, local and indigenous efforts to tackle climate change, but now it's time to hear from the man himself, Andrew Youn. Guests, please join me in honoring the 2023 Hilton Humanitarian Prize recipient. Please stand as we welcome to the stage One Acre Fund CEO and co-founder, Andrew Youn. Thank you.
Thank you. I am delighted and really humbled to represent One Acre Fund and to accept this honor on behalf of our team, our many partners in the philanthropic, public, and private sectors, and most importantly, the farmers we serve. This award will help to elevate the voices of farmers in some of our world's major global conversations, especially climate change, and reinforces our core mission to help empower the lives of smallholder farmers across sub-Saharan Africa. I'm grateful to be here today representing the farmers that we serve, and I'd like to share one of their stories to illustrate the work that One Acre Fund does. Jeanne d'Arc Mubanira from Kavumu, Rwanda, has been farming with us for 4 years. She and her husband use their agricultural output to provide for themselves and their 4 children. Before enrolling in the program, Jeanne would usually harvest around 2 sacks of maize and beans for the season. For context, 1 sack is about enough to feed a person for a year. Jeanne and her husband were able to make ends meet only by working a wide variety of daily jobs and would often wake up, I don't know if you can imagine this, at the start of the day, not knowing where their day's food would come from, what work they might find. Now, through the training and high-quality fertilizer and seeds she's accessed since joining the program, Jeanne's yield has more than quadrupled. She harvests enough to feed her family while selling her surplus maize and beans in the market. She's now able to pay for her children's schooling, she purchased animals to diversify her income, and she's continuing to learn and expand her farming activities to ensure that she'll always have enough food and income to support her family. Jeanne is a smallholder farmer, and I believe she's a powerful hero that's increasingly important in our world. Most of the world's people living on $1 a day are smallholder farmers like us. This is a terrible paradox. Some of the world's hungriest people are farmers whose profession is to grow food, but they struggle to find the tools and techniques that they require to feed their families. This is also one heck of an opportunity. Most of the people living on $1 a day have one profession. They're some of the hardest working, powerful people on earth, and they have a food production machine, their farm, in their backyard. When smallholder farmers like Youn become more productive, magic happens. When farmers become more productive, mass numbers of people earn their way out of poverty. When they become more productive, they fill their communities with enough food and more nutritious food. When farmers become more productive, they steward Earth's land and our shared environmental future. Today, One Acre Fund's team of 8,000 staff serves 1.6 million hardworking farm families in 9 African countries. Additionally, our team is proud to partner together with our host governments and with private companies, serving together through on-the-ground operating partnerships that reach an additional 2.5 million families each year. These solutions are highly scalable. They only require resources and will. Today, of course, we face a new challenge. Farming is a profession most affected by climate change. It may sound really obvious, but until COP27, farmers were hardly mentioned at all. You know, many of us probably work in an office indoors, and so when weather patterns change, we just wear a raincoat on a different day. But when weather changes for farmers, it causes massive yield loss. It's estimated that in sub-Saharan Africa, climate change already is responsible for an estimated 68% of yield loss compared to other developing regions. But this is not just a gloom and doom story. This is a story that could actually have a pretty good ending. There are many practical, scalable solutions that are a win-win-win for farmers, helping them earn more income, helping farmers adapt their agriculture to a changing weather, and sometimes even helping them contribute to humanity's shared climate fight. For example, sophisticated weather and soil moisture data can help farmers choose the optimal planting date to plant their seeds, which increases their harvests, help them adapt their planting to their specific microclimate every year, and avoids unnecessary wastage of farm inputs. As another example, farmers can plant trees as part of their annual farm portfolio. This is going to sound really obvious, but trees are plants. Farmers know how to grow plants. It's a match made in heaven. It's a win-win-win. Again, in a context of rampant deforestation, trees provide sustainable wood assets for farmers, saving them income and the need to cut down forests. $1 given to a tree planting program for a farmer generates more than $10 worth of sustainable wood assets for that farmer. The second win, trees are far more resilient to weather shocks like droughts, so they help farmers adapt to a changing climate. And the bonus is that trees in tropical areas even sequester carbon and improve the farm environment. These solutions, again, are highly scalable. They just require resources and will. One Acre Fund has a vision to more than double by 2030, serving more than 3.5 million farm families through our full-service farm input lending and training program, and another 6.5 million families together with partners in our host governments and private sector. And we hope to plant eventually more than 100 million trees every year. The problems that farmers face are big. With your help, the practical and scalable solutions will be even greater. One Acre Fund is so proud to serve the hardest working, most powerful people on earth. Every day, they wake up ready to feed their communities, steward their land, and to earn a path to prosperity. I hope you'll join me in a round of applause for this year's honorees, smallholder farmers.